Fleet's journal. Solsthiem has two faces. One scarred and deformed, the other cold and wild. I feel a kinship with this place that is unexpected, as if I belong to this place in some deep, visceral way. The soul of this island is not unlike my own. Savage, dangerous, and unfamiliar, Solsthiem is fascinating and terrifying all at once. As Sithis rules my conflicted spirit, so Miraak claims this place. I feel compelled to take it from him. There is something disquieting about the island. This is a feeling I have not had since the spike. I feel as though this may be one of those unique places in which I have not claim over my own destiny. The feeling that if I am to reclaim my identity, I must take it by force. I've been in the wilderness for 2 days now, and am still no closer to understanding where I am. I have found my path blocked in one direction around the coast, and have reversed my course. I have taken stock of my surroundings and have determined that the best way to true my course is to use the Red Mountain as my guide. Judging by the location of the mountain, I am fairly certain of the direction I must travel to get back to Raven Rock. Having studied the map I found, I am able to narrow my location down to one of 4 areas, assuming I can trust that these pirates were digging at one of the marked spots. The armor I found them digging up is curious. It's clearly powerful, but if the map is any indication, there are 3 pieces to be had. I believe I shall fill my time seeking them out. I need to understand more about this place, and the acquisition of these items may help me in the battles to come. With this hostile and unfamiliar atmosphere come the memories of my days in Skyrim as a fugitive, traveling as if a ghost, hiding and living off the land. Much has happened since then. My path has been confused at times, but this place and this time has given me clarity about what I must do next, about the Thalmor and the Emperor. However, first, I must deal with the Bosmer. I cannot move forward with an assassin at my back. The time is coming when I will spring. Welcome, dear viewers, to CouchWarrior TV on YouTube. I am the CouchWarrior, and you are watching Erinyes Arcana, a Skyrim Let's Play. Welcome back to the story, ladies and gentlemen. This is Chapter 13, Part 2. And we are on the island of Solsthiem, trying to figure out where we are at. When we left off, we had been transported to a remote part of the island, courtesy of Miraak. And being unfamiliar with the island, Fleet is trying to find his way back to Raven Rock. And so we are kind of working our way along the coastline. As is evident from the previous journal entry, Fleet has taken 2 particular clues or strategies to find his way back. One is using the Red Mountain as a guide, navigating by landmarks, if you will. So he knows that when he was in Raven Rock, he was able to see the mountain from a particular angle, so it stands to reason that if he travels toward the mountain, keeping the mountain on his left, eventually he's going to get to where he needs to go. And we have kind of come around a peninsula here that gives us a good view of the Red Mountain. In addition to that, we also acquired a map that points out the locations of the 4 pieces of armor. The Deathbrand armor, more specifically. We found the helmet, we found the map, and if the map is to be believed, it indicates that we have to be at least one of 4 points on that map. So by process of elimination, it should be a helpful guide in trying to discern where we're actually at the moment. So that's kind of what we're doing here. We're working our way around. We had to turn around. We came to a roadblock earlier, killed a couple Spriggans, and got to a point where there was nowhere left to go but in the ocean, and that's not advisable. So we turned around and head the other direction. And this is looking much more promising. We're seeing a settlement here, or an encampment. We're seeing a walking path. Let's stay out of sight of these guys here.
Your having us do neither, and I can't stomach it.
Your stomach isn't my problem. We act when I say we do, and not before.
We're really going back to basics here. We are in unfamiliar territory, so, you know, just to make sure we don't get surprised and we can sort of stay on top of everything that's going on. We're staying in stealth mode. We're moving quietly around the perimeter of the island here in much the same way that we used to do in our early days in Skyrim. It's good to get back to basics once in a while. So these guys have obviously left their encampment. Doesn't look like there's anything here that would be of interest right now. So we will continue along our path. I want to thank all of you for coming back to the story. I also want to thank all of you who left helpful comments on the last video with regard to the Deathbrand map. It's kind of ironic. I did get a message from a viewer, the Jessa channel, as a matter of fact. She was the first one to let me know that the map was actually located in my miscellaneous items. Interestingly enough, I had also kind of discovered that myself along the way, but it did not make it into the recording. So I want to thank all of you who contributed that useful bit of information. So we now have the Deathbrand map in our miscellaneous items. We can view it there. Looks like we got possibly some ice wraiths here. Yeah, these are ice wraiths. Ice wraiths are tough to hit because you never know exactly where to aim. Let's try to draw him in here and get... I find it easier to kill them when they're coming straight at me. So, here we go. Right, there's one. This one doesn't seem to be venturing up the hill. Let's see if we can nab him from here. Come on over here. Follow the sound, buddy. I think I gotta aim a little bit lower. There we go. Threat neutralized. So most of you probably don't know this about me, but I am a user experience designer by trade. And I cannot tell you how strange and frustrating the whole Dragon or Deathbrand map situation was from a user experience design perspective, when every single map I've ever acquired in Skyrim has been immediately placed into my books inventory to suddenly have one go into miscellaneous inexplicably for no reason. It is a treasure map after all, so why wouldn't it go where the other treasure maps go? Man, that was frustrating. Not a big deal. I mean, obviously, I figured it out, but I just can't understand why that decision was made in the first place. It doesn't make any sense at all. So maybe it was just an oversight. I'm not sure. But we've got it figured out. And there are 4 pieces marked on there. The map is really vague. All it really shows you is the perimeter of the island and has 4 X's scattered around the perimeter of the island. So it appears as though all the items are buried along the coastline, which is good for us. So we are going to make it our business to try to acquire all of them. Okay, we've got an elk or something here. Let's scare him. Let's scare him and send him on ahead of us. If anything nasty is out there, he'll kick it up and we'll see it coming. This, of course, is a technique that we used a lot at low level. Coming in handy again now. Some of the standard principles that we've been using all along that are part of Fleet's arsenal. I don't know what this place is. Looks interesting. We can see there's somebody up there, but we're not going to mess with them. We're going to keep continuing around here. Now, obviously, we've got a queue here, right? We've transitioned from snow to ash, so we know we got to be heading the right direction. So this is kind of the first positive reinforcement we've seen since locating Red Mountain. So we got some interesting things up here to investigate. But of course, our goal is to get back to Raven Rock to start with, and kind of reset a little bit, and then make sure we are ready to spring our trap on the Bosmer assassin who is on our tail.
The girl's name was Nephae Shoregrace. I recognized her immediately, and she I. It had been years since I had laid eyes upon her, and she was not the scrawny, awkward girl I remembered. It had been 14 years since I last saw her. She had grown beautiful, and I had grown old. She threw her arms around me without hesitation, nearly knocking me off my feet. I was so stunned, it was as if my tongue had been cut out. I stood there slack-jawed like an idiot. As she looked me over with those eyes still full of mischief, I remembered all I could say was Nephae. Nephae had been a shining star in the otherwise moonless black that was Castle Grey. One of a crowd of children we referred to as the Castle Rats, she and her friends brought a vibrance and a spirit to the palace that was much needed. Equal parts vim and vinegar, Nephae had been the worst of them and the best. Quick with a smile and a kiss, but always up to no good. I would love to while away the hours catching up with her, but my mind turned back to Fleet, and I had to ask her, "Do you know where Fleet is?" She cocked her head and with a quizzical look asked, "Fleet who?" It seemed like she was being genuine, and for a moment I stumbled. "Fleet Featherstone. You know, Little Feather?" "No. I haven't seen him for years. Last I heard he was in prison," she replied. Her eyes grew dark, and she continued, "I heard they put him in the spike and threw away the key. You know what they say. Nobody leaves the spike with their head attached. He's probably dead after all this time, and if not, I hope he dies slowly." I looked into her eyes as she spoke. It was clear she was lost in memories, as if I was not even there. "Nephae, do you know who Cimmerian is?" "Why are you asking?" she replied, a threatening look in her eye. The change was instant. At first, dreaming of days past, and now in the present and threatening. "What do you want with him?" I could see her hand smoothly go to the large dagger at the small of her back. "Nephae, Cimmerian is Fleet," I said. "No. Fleet is in prison. I saw him hauled away. Do you think I could travel with Fleet for a year, share everything, even a cell for a week, and not know it was him? Your brain has gone soft, old man." "No, Nephae.
It's true. Fleet escaped the spike over 2 years ago. I showed her the letter I received from Senshin. As she read the letter, I could see the realization wash over her, from disbelief to tears and finally anger. A slow, boiling anger, tempered only by grief. "That bastard," she raged. "Child, please." I tried to calm her, but she stepped away. "No. Do you know what he did to my family? It was because of him that Daddy died in prison. It's because of him my mother and I were forced to live in the streets. He was selfish, cold, and beastly. He destroyed my family." She began to gasp and stumble. I tried to steady her, but she jerked her arm away. "Are you going to kill him?" "No, Nephae, I'm trying to save him." "Save him," she screamed. "I will kill him myself." At that outburst, she stumbled back to her bed, overcome by her sickness and the emotion of the revelation. "Nephae, you are in no condition to do anything. There has been enough killing, enough torture to make even the gods weep. Go home, Nephae. I love you, child, but consider well what you are suggesting." "I will kill you myself if I must." "Do not pursue this. Do not speak it. Not even in jest. What do you think 2 years in the spike does to a man? Have you considered that? He is not the same man he was going in. I cannot tell you whether or not he is better, but even the strongest of men cannot withstand the cruelty of the spike. Although the little feather I love died long before the spike. I'm sorry, child. Go home." I could hear her sobbing and crying as I left. Another wreck on the rocks of House Featherstone.
What by day was stolen?
Far from ourselves.
He grows ever near to us.
Our eyes once were blinded. Lost!
Now through him do we see.
Welcome back, brothers and sisters. Welcome back to the story. We are fighting some ash spawn here. We are at a bit of a tactical disadvantage at the moment. I was able to take one of them out and then just kept kind of backing off, putting objects between myself and them, trying to absorb some of the damage that way. I have since cast a muffle spell and a blur spell on myself. That is going to obviously give me some stealth advantages, and the blur makes me a little bit more difficult to hit. I am out of magicka at the moment, So we'll goose that a little bit so I can get the bow out should I need it. But I think that the ash spawn have engaged with something else here. Yeah, look at that. There's a burnt Spriggan. So we are going to let them fight it out. Take a little invisibility potion, and we are going to go around their flank. Because I believe that these ash spawn are hiding chest number 2 in the Deathbrand armor. Yep, here's a chest. This looks like what we want. So let's search these hunters. Gold. It's always good. Over here. Check him out. Gold and a lockpick. Now we're going to open this chest. We have the advantage, of course, of the skeleton key, so an expert lock shouldn't be a problem for us. Just takes time, that's all. Look at that, we found a soft spot already. Here we go. And even a level in lockpicking. Look how close we are to the next level already. Deathbrand Boots increases our carry capacity by 10 for each item that we're wearing. So, assuming we've got 4 total items of armor, that's increasing our carry capacity by 40 points just for wearing that. That's going to be great if we can get all the pieces. Okay. Oop, Urn Root, let's grab that. Looks like something vile going on up here. Looks like another one of those nasty lurker things that I hate so much. Oh, man. Somebody's getting messed up. Let's just try to stay out of trouble a little bit here. So we get a shot in. There we go. Surprise. Oh, he's coming to get us now. Oh, they're so creepy. Whoa. See it? Using the terrain to our advantage again. Keep backing up. Ooh, we got him staggered. Now he's done. That worked out all right. I can't tell you how many times backing up over a hill or a rock has saved my bacon. This is no exception. Look at this good loot. Such good loot. So, ladies and gentlemen, in the last segment, you saw a conversation, an interesting conversation, between Haldir and Nephae, who surprisingly know each other. So what are the many revelations from that segment? Normally, where flashbacks are concerned, I don't engage in exposition. Exposition is when I tell you flat out everything that's going on. There is a reason for that. Exposition is the fabric by which boring stories are made. So I like to leave some mystery. We've seen several flashbacks, however, that can be tied together here. And for those of you who may have skipped over those or are having trouble following them, I'm going to help you out just a little bit. We've seen 2 flashbacks in the past that included a little girl. Well, obviously, that little girl was Nephae. Nephae lived in the castle. She knew Fleet as a child. We believe at this point that there is a difference in age between Nephae and Fleet of approximately 14 years. So we don't know exactly what Nephae's age was at the time those flashbacks take place. However, it's obvious from the footage that she is quite a bit younger than Fleet. There we go. And that she was in a position to observe many of the things that he did. Things that the grown-ups didn't see. Theft from the castle. She witnessed him stealing things. She witnessed him passing off items from the palace to Linway in clandestine meetings in out-of-the-way places after dark. She witnessed him actually taking and hiding things. And as a result of basically Fleet's criminal activities inside the palace. Nephae's father is basically blamed for the theft of some valuables inside the palace, and presumably, if her description is to be believed, thrown in prison for it. So, it is the reuniting of Haldir and Nephae that brings out this story. Now, if you remember, Haldir is very familiar with Castle Grey. In fact, it was his home for many, many years when he worked in the service of the king, and he worked side by side with Fleet's father, Senshin. So he has a relationship with these kids, obviously, who are the children of the servants and nobles who are employed within the palace. And what better do these kids have to do in their off time than just run around and have fun in a giant palace? So that is what he's referring to. It is the children of the palace servants who are referred to as the castle rats. And that, my friends, is the revelation there. Interesting to see what comes next. This guy's got to go. Well, he's a two-shot deal. Alright. We are carefully making our way around the perimeter of the island. So I hope that ties a few things together for you. It certainly answers the question that's been asked for many episodes now. Who is the little girl? Now we know. It all comes together, my friends. Okay, we've got a peninsula here. Ooh, we got some strange stuff going on here. All right. I did a little reload of that saved game to take care of that glitch. There was some kind of clipping or something going on in the water there. Alright, I'm just kind of moving along in stealth mode, being cautious, trying to look left and right. I'm using Aura Whisper every once in a while, just to make sure that I'm calling out anything that might be hiding in my path. Exercising plenty of caution here. What do we got over here? Who's this dude? Ooh, that is a Spriggan. And a boat. Got some kind of ship over here. Let's see what's going on with this whole situation. So, it's worth mentioning, I apologize for the lateness of this episode. It's kind of a tragedy, really, because I had about 2.5 hours of material in the can, kind of, ready to go. All I needed to have was enough time to actually record the commentary, and I just couldn't find the time to do it. I couldn't find a quiet moment to put together all the pieces. Well, I finally got to it, and here is another episode for you. Look at this. And these are bandits. I see an opportunity here. We're going to play a trick on these guys. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 5 we can see. So those are pretty bad odds if we end up being the focal point of their attacks. So we are going to gather up some reinforcements in the form of a burnt Spriggan. Let's head back this way. Anyway, I've been tied up a lot of busy things going on at work, and interestingly enough, I'm working on a Kickstarter that we are going to be launching on November 15th. I am working on a Kickstarter for a project that will be taking a novel written by an independent publisher, and we're converting it into an audiobook, and I will be doing the sound design on that. Should be kind of fun. It's kind of historical fiction, so it's a good read. So far there are 4 books in the series. There's going to be 10 eventually, but our Kickstarter is going to be starting up on the 15th of November, and we're going to be raising a little money to go into production expenses and voiceover work and all of that stuff. And I will be doing the sound design. we will be making this into sort of a hybrid of an audio drama and an audio book. So there will be music and ambient sound along with the reading. So should be fun stuff. I will keep everyone posted on the progress of that. So if, as of November 15th, you're interested in contributing to the Kickstarter, you can go ahead and do that. All right. So we drew in our Spriggan with a few arrows. We got her all mad and took her right to the front door, and she should be fully engaged with these bandits at this point. Now this puts us in a good position to offer some supporting fire to the Spriggan and abbreviate this battle. Oh, this guy's on the walk. Stop walking. There we go. One down. Come on. Two down. Okay, we don't want to be attacked at this point. We want her to stay on the bandits. Oh, she's on to us now. She's on to us. Get in the water. Get in the water. Okay. We better cool off a little bit here. Okay, looks like maybe she's re-engaged with the bandits. Wow, look at all the flames coming from in there. Okay, yep. She's back on the bandits. What we don't want is we don't want anybody to come out of this battle unscathed. So let's help out. That's the bandit chief, I think. Oh, did I miss twice now? There we go. Come on. That's gonna hurt. Oh, we got another archer out there. I saw arrows flying from above. Okay. If my count was right, this should be our last bandit. Let's have a look here. Oh, yeah, look at that. They're all the way up on the boat. Who's dying first? Okay, we hit him. Okay, our bandit, he's getting pissed. He's coming our direction. Spriggan's getting back up. And that is our last victim, my friends. That is it. And that brings us to the end of another episode. I want to thank you all for taking the journey with me. And until next time, may all that you do be swift, quiet, and deadly. And to all Skyrim assassins, I salute you. Silence is our battle cry.